All right, Dave, it is time for the trivia question about the show that you are on.
Part. Yep.
Okay, are you ready?
I am.
Dave,
I am thoroughly prepared this time.
Here's your question about the show that you are part of. Mm-hmm. Dave, who books the show?
That would be our good friend Rebecca Trent.
That is correct, Dave.
Thank you.
You did have to think about it.
Is she listening? Oh yeah. No. What do you mean? I didn't have to think about it. You are.
That's right. Rebecca Trent does book our show. Also the owner of the Creek in the Cave in Austin, Texas. All right. Everybody check us out at Six Unseemly and on all social media at unseemlyquestions.com. Welcome to Six Unseemly Questions. I'm your host, Victor Varnado. This is my sidekick, Dave Rosinsky. We've got a great contestant on the show today. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Mike Stanley. Mike
Hello.
Stanley. Hello, and welcome to the show. This is going to be a really good time. Thanks for being here. We've got a great studio audience as well. We have Brian Simpson and Rachel Teichman. Thank you. What a great studio audience. You two are the best.
Tops in the
All right. So I'm going to explain how the show works. We're going to get started. This is how the show works. Mike, I'm going to ask you 6 unseemly questions. At the end of each question, I'll ring a bell if I like your answer like this. However, I do not like your answer, I'll not ring the bell, and I'll tell you why. Regardless of how many bells you get, I'm going to decide at the end of the show whether or not you're going to get $5 whole for your appearance on the show. You ready?
Stakes are high. Go, yeah.
That's right.
Time to start with question number 1. Question number 1. How technically savvy are you?
How tech savvy am I? I'm the worst.
How tech savvy are you?
I'm terrible. I'm literally, it took me 10 minutes to log into this thing and I had to download Zoom right before this thing. I have no idea. I've never owned a computer in my life. I just got an iPad. Maybe a week ago, I got this iPad. I have no idea what I'm doing ever. I have to have someone else show me. I'm like an old person that has to have the grandkid come over and show them how to use the VCR. It's a nightmare.
You never owned a computer in your life?
No, I never had one. Once
Really?
iPhones came out, I was like, this is all I need. I'm good. This is it. And then that was all I ever used. So anytime if someone asked me to send a PDF, is that what it's called? A PDF file?
No.
My brain just explodes. I have to call in somebody else to do it. I used to throw my phone at least once a week when like a booker or somebody would ask me to send a headshot in a different format. I would lose my shit. And I don't think I'm the only one. I know a lot of people are tech savvy.
I don't think you're the only one either, but especially like as far as comedians go, most comedians I know are pretty tech savvy. How did you survive the pandemic without learning how to use Zoom?
I didn't do any Zoom shows. I kept getting asked, and I didn't do any. I did none of them. I managed to just go the whole year not doing stand-up, which was pretty sad, but that was, again, I fell on my own sword there because I didn't know what I was doing. So
you didn't miss anything.
You know what? I'm going to give you a bell. I'll tell you why. Because your tech ability is pathetic.
It's just bad.
It's a mercy bell.
It's a mercy bell.
It's a sympathy bell. Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
I appreciate that.
It is time for question number 2. But before we do that, can you tell people out there what you do?
I am a touring headlining comedian. I fling all around the country and do shows, and I do some voiceover work as well. So those are the things that I do.
Wonderful stuff. All right, so let's talk about question number 2. Here it is. Have you ever saved a life?
Ooh.
I don't know if this qualifies as saving a life. I have, however, I used to work as a medic in Detroit when I started stand-up comedy almost 20 years ago. I went to school to be a firefighter, and 9/11 happened, and I was working as a paramedic in Detroit. So I have sustained life to get it to a hospital where that life could later be saved. So my part, I think, in part, I think I have helped save a life, but I don't know if it necessarily qualifies as saving the life. So
I would say that qualifies as saving a life. I mean, we can have a quick ruling. What do you think? Yay or nay? Does it qualify as saving a life, Rachel?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
I did say yay or nay. I don't know why she went with yes, whatever. Brian, what do you think? Yay or nay? Does it qualify as saving a life?
I think it does, but I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing.
Okay, great.
Because you
Again,
hate
I
people,
said
get
yay
it.
or
Yeah.
nay, and everybody's
Oh,
just
okay.
throwing in all this extra stuff. Dave, what do you think? Yay or nay? Does it qualify as saving a life?
So no one is allowed to say yes. We only have to say it how you want us to say it.
Well, at
You can't
least they
say it
tried to answer the
regular?
question. They tried to answer the question,
But
Dave.
you didn't like how we say it.
What do you mean we? Are you saying that you stand together
Yes,
with everyone else?
We've decided we are not going to partake in this weird talk.
All right. Well, I think, Mike, that we can all agree that it qualifies as saving a life. And it was a good story. So you know what? Here's a bell.
Hey, how about that?
Wow, Victor's unflappable.
All right. Now it is time for question number 3. Question number 3. What's your most prominent personality trait?
My most prominent personality trait would have to be that I'm somewhat grumpy most of the time. I don't generally like being around a lot of people. I'm somewhat of a recluse in big gatherings. I don't necessarily like chit-chatting. I don't like small talk. I keep to myself. I think that's the beauty of why we do stand-up, is because we get to do all the talking. But in social interactions, I'm very low-key. I don't really want to be the center of attention. I don't really like being out. I don't like most functions. I don't like getting dressed up to do things. I don't necessarily want to learn about anybody else's shit, really. I'm just kind of want to be in my own little world. So it's probably somewhat aloof and grumpy. Yeah.
Isn't that narcissism, what you just described?
It could be. It could be a form of that. Yeah,
I'm
it probably is.
We're all narcissists.
Yeah, maybe
I feel
narcissism then.
Yeah, I feel like we have a lot in common, except for I don't like to tour either. Like touring, I hate touring. But other than that, do I tour or do I hate touring?
No, you hate touring. You don't like.
Oh yeah, I've hated touring. I've hated touring since the beginning of my comedy career. I hated touring. In fact, I guarantee if I toured, I would have been a bigger comedian. What?
But don't you think that touring in itself kind of gives you this sort of element where you don't have to really associate with anybody, because nobody really knows who you are until you're on stage, but then you can leave. So your interactions are very limited.
Oh no, that's not the part of touring that I hate. I like the performing part. I just hate being in crappy hotels and having to do weird travel plans. I hate that part.
I got you. That's the part we all hate.
If I tour, I just want to be like, I will easily go out of town on stuff when people are like, we're paying for everything and everything's being arranged and it's going to be a nice hotel. And when it's all good, then I will go. But I just don't like.
No, I feel
don't
you
like
1,000%. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. I like that part. All right. Yeah, we were talking about your most prominent personality trait. We got ahead of ourselves, but still good stuff. All right.
Hey.
It's now time for question number 4. Question number 4. On a scale of 1 to 10, how crazy are you?
Oh, I think now I'm 43, so that has like dipped down. I think in my early 20s, when you first start doing stand-up and you're getting out there and you're just like, this is nuts. I just want to be, I want things to be crazy. I just want to have all these stories. Now I'm like, if I'm in bed by 9:30 on a Friday, I'm elated. I'm so happy. If I can I like the level of crazy to be almost zero. Maybe watching something from afar that's going on that's a little crazy. Great. But now it's like a 1 or 2 at best. I'm not out there whooping it up anymore.
That's interesting. I actually feel like the opposite for me. Like I feel like I get more crazy as I get older.
Really?
You feel like you settle? Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like very solid in who I am, and just like I don't really need a lot of hoopla in order to be entertained. Like I try to keep my levels way down at this point. So
I agree on the hoopla part. I do less hoopla as I'm older, but I just think my brain, my internal thoughts are crazier.
What is hoopla?
Yeah, just like a bunch of nonsense, a bunch of crazy bullshit. Like you got to be in the midst of like everything going on that's chaotic. Like I don't want any of that. I don't want any part of it. I'm done.
I don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, hoopla is just a knee slapping good time.
See, I originally thought that it was just like a youth basketball program in Los Angeles. Because I've only
play for hoopla.
That was a good pun and reference.
Thank you.
I think of hoopla as crazy, as craziness.
Yeah. Right.
Like in the first SpongeBob episode, like sounds like a lot of hoopla, because like they're saying it's crazy.
Like shenanigans.
Yeah.
Yeah, shenanigans.
Yes,
like,
hoopla and shenanigans are
hooligans.
related.
Don't forget about hooligans.
Like malarkey. Like hoopla is malarkey.
Or tomfoolery, is that also a synonym?
I think that's all good. Yeah, I think we're all on the same page here. You know what?
Yep.
So there you go.
Hey.
It's time for question number 5. Here's question number 5, Mike. If you want attention, how do you get it?
If I want attention, how do I get it?
Yes.
I think just work. I mean, as a comedian, that's what we do. We get attention. You either post something inflammatory on social media or you go out and get on stage and talk about the stuff you're thinking about. I think that's the best way to get attention.
So when you think of attention, what you think of is just any eyes on you, or it's not from a specific person or group?
I think any eyes on you is any eyes on you, right? Like that's attention, because you want to cast a wide net for the most people to be viewing or taking in what it is that you're thinking or saying, right? So I think,
but you said
get on stage.
You told us before you're not into it anymore. You don't like the attention on in the outside world, right?
Yeah, but that's not the outside world. See, if I'm saying something online, I can throw that out there and I'm still getting attention whether or not I walk away from it and come back and check on it. I don't have to have a one-on-one or have any sort of like interface with people, or stand up where it's like, oh, I go on stage, all the attention's on me, and then I can dip.
That's really interesting, because when I think of attention, when I think of attention, I think of it the opposite way. I think of it like the attention is the stuff that's intimate, and then the stuff on stage is like, I mean, it is tension, but it's a different kind. Like it's not what I think of first when I think of the word attention.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think I live with my girlfriend, so we always have attention to one another, especially after the last year of being locked in the house. We're the only people staring at each other. I feel like that attention bond is always there. So we always have each other's attention in terms of that. So outside of that, that's why I was thinking past that. So I think if you need attention, obviously post something inflammatory on social media or go out and do your job. That's what I think. All
right. And as requested, no bell.
Oh,
okay.
It is now time for question number 6. Question number 6. Is your sexuality evolving?
Is it evolving? I don't think my sexuality is evolving, because I feel like I've always been very comfortable with who I am. I can see a dude and be like, that's a hot dude, and I'm totally fine with that. That doesn't mean I want to sleep with him or I have any sexual attractions to him, but I feel like, oh, I can recognize when someone's attractive. Like, that's a hot guy, that's a hot girl, that's a hot this, that's a hot that. I'm completely comfortable with saying that without there being anything further that I need to do outside of my own sexuality in terms of that. So I'm pretty good. I think my sexuality's always kind of been that way. I grew up, my mother was a dance teacher growing up. So they're always like, we grew up dancing as kids. So immediately everybody at school always thought I was gay, just because that's what I was doing. I was never into sports. Like, I always danced like all through like
jazz and modern and tap.
Yeah, and tap specifically was like my thing. I was like really good. I used to compete and stuff like growing up as a kid and like win contests and stuff like that. So having had that and having people call you gay because something that you were into as a kid, you know, at that age, when your formative years, when people are like figuring out who they are and like, you're gay, this, you don't play sports, da, da, da. So having that in my life where people were just like assuming you were gay for doing something that you enjoyed as a child, I feel like it kind of solidified the fact that like, no, I know that I'm not gay. I can just appreciate things that are outside the spectrum of what other people deem hetero or non-hetero. You know what I mean?
I think I do.
Yeah.
I think I do. And you know what? Good answer.
Thank you.
All right. You've answered all 6 questions. Now it's time to decide whether or not you get $5. But before we do that, can you tell people out there where they can find you?
You can find me on Facebook at Mike Stanley Comedy. You can find me on Twitter at _aware_wolf. It's a fun pun. I'll be at the MGM at Brad Garrett's Comedy Club August 16th through the 22nd. You can find me at Creek and Cave once a month with my show Shots Fired, and once a month with my show Thick Skin at Comedy Works.
Right on. Awesome. So it's now we're going to decide whether you get $5. We canvass the room as always. Let's start with you, Dave. What do you think? Should Mike get $5 for his appearance on the show?
Absolutely. I like that how he was just talking about werewolves.
All right.
And we need more of that werewolf talk on this show.
We do. We need more werewolf talk.
Glad you're with us on this, Dave. What do you think, Brian? Should Mike get $5 for his appearance on the show?
I'm gonna go with a hard no.
Oh,
damn.
Well, yeah. I mean, at first, I just thought he was a white dude, but now that I know he's a straight white dude,
yeah.
Oh, yeah, I get it. Yeah,
that's not what's in now. I'm sorry. Mike.
It's fair. It's fair. I get it.
He speaks the truth.
To be fair, we get $5 every day from the government. Just mail it. I mean, I'm going to be all right either way. So,
Rachel, what do you think? Should Mike get $5?
I'm going to say yes for the sole reason that every time Brian takes a drink from his water bottle, his background makes it just pure blue. And that's been entertaining me during this episode.
how does he do it?
That has nothing to do with Mike.
That's right.
Cool.
Okay, just double checking, I guess.
But that was a vote of yes, right?
Yeah, that was a yes. Mike should get $5.
Well, thank Brian for that one.
And Mike, what do you think? Should you get $5 for your appearance on the show?
I don't think I deserve $5 because I think Brian nailed it when he said that narcissism was actually the trait that I was trying to explain. So, and I'm a straight white dude. I don't need $5. I'm good, you guys. I can just ask another white dude to borrow $5, and I get free money all the time for being white. So it's like, I'm good.
Wow,
Yeah.
You've got the good white program, not the one Dave's on.
He can just call. He can just call
What program
911.
am I on?
He
Yeah,
can just call 911 and they'll bring him $5.
I've got white guy prime, you guys. I'm good.
Yeah, Dave's got standard.
Yeah. A lot of these
Standard
have
what?
standard
I get
white guy.
$8 a
standard white
week.
guy. I got white guy prime. I'm good, you guys.
All right, well, then no $5 for you because you'll be okay without it.
You
But
got
thank
robbed.
you so much for
I
being
think
on
Mike
the
just
show
wrote a new
today.
bit.
Great job. All right, now, Dave, what did you learn from this week's show?
I learned that straight white guys aren't gonna automatically win $5 on the show. Is that what you want me to say?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's fine. You didn't have to say it. I guess it wasn't my top choice.
I don't know. Well, it's cool that Mike came on here and he figured that out. Thanks, Mike.
No problem, guys.
Well, check us out. Go ahead.
You guys did expect me to make it racial at some point.
It's totally fine. You can make it racial as you want it. You can make every day racial. Go for it.
Every day is
Racial every day.
did you just say Rachel?
I was going to ask the same thing.
No, I said racial.
Well, then you're not pronouncing it right.
Check us out
Racial.
at Unseemly on all social media and unseemlyquestions.com.
Starburns Audio, a podcast network.